Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Bubba here on Saturday, June 29th. Stand by, sitting in for Paul Harvey today. Stand by for commentary. Well, if Mr. Paul Harvey were alive today, I'm pretty sure he would like this commentary. So we had the debates here with the dum-dums, sorry, Democrats, and a certain Senator Camela Harris was out there blasting Joe Biden about working with segregationists and about busing. Her campaign even put a picture of her as a little girl being bused. Miss Harris, as a senator, I thought you had better opinion, but being a Democrat, I see you have watermelons for brains. Number one, apologize for working with segregationists, huh? And number two, busing. Here is the problem, Senator Harris. You're dealing with deals that happened decades ago in political climates that you knew nothing about. As a kid in the 1970s and 60s, I can tell you busing and segregation. I can also tell you one of my favorite and championed African Americans. Yes, I said African Americans, and I'm a Latin. Usually Latins don't like African Americans. But this lady did a lot more for human race in general, not just the African Americans. She was elected to Congress in 1968 during a period that was really assassinations here, assassinations there, and very much segregationist. They were fighting for their survival then. And she ran on the 12th district of New York, 12th district over at the Bronx, because they had gerrymandered that district so that an African American could win. Now, she wasn't the first African American from New York. A gentleman named Powell did that in 1945. But she was the first woman African American to win a congressional seat. So in January of 1969, Congresswoman Shirley Anita Chisholm, took her seat in Congress. Now, mind you, she was a very feisty lady. And, of course, being African American and women, the powers that be at the Democratic Party at the time assigned her, a committee that she didn't want to deal with, like agriculture. She went to her favorite rabbi, and he told her, well, I know you want another committee, but in order to get that, you have to work with this. Aren't people should be helped no matter where they are and who they are? Now, mind you, this is a Jewish rabbi talking to an African American lady, right? See the irony on that, Congress or Senator Harris? Well, Congresswoman Chisholm took his advice, and to her, I bet you since you were bused, your family relied on assistance from the federal government, didn't they? Like food stamps and WIC. Congresswoman Chisholm is responsible for WIC and expanding the food stamp program when she was a member of the Agriculture Committee. In 1972, she went to see George Wallace. Yes, George Wallace, Senator Harris. And she got earful and very controversial for doing that. Did it cost her congressional seat? Hell no. It embellished her congressional seat. And her association with Mr. Wallace helped her in the WIC program because the South was a disaster in the early 70s. And he convinced very many white Southern congressmen to pass the bill that became WIC. They would have passed because of him and her. Now, for George Wallace to change his mind and work with Anita Chisholm, you shouldn't be making comments like you do, Senator Harris, because what are you going to say to now deceased Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm? That she should apologize for working with segregationists? She worked with KKK guys like Senator Robert C. Byrd, Senator of West Virginia, who was a KKK guy, big time. Herman Tamilich of Georgia, who was a senator, was a very much, and whatever happened here in Georgia would never have happened without her association with George Wallace and his support to get her programs through. This is what I'm saying as a commentator, and I know Mr. Paul Harvey would heartily agree with me. Senator Harris, if you're going to make comments like you do, please look at the time it was. Did Biden work with segregationists? Yes, but he had no choice. Same as Shirley Chisholm. She had no choice but to work with them either. That's the times they were in. And the times you're in. 25 years from now, somebody's going to criticize you for something you did. Oh, and by the way, why did Shirley Chisholm retire from Congress in 1982? It wasn't that she gave it up. Her husband was in bad shape, her second husband, Mr. Harvey. But the main reason why she retired, and she said it publicly, she didn't like the way the liberals were heading. As an AOC, you, Omar, Maxine Waters, you are the product that she didn't like. So see, Senator Harris, before you open your mouth, look at your mirror and see what you got. This is the favorite alien sitting in for Paul Harvey. Good day.